For the last 3 or 4 days, I've been having a debate with myself, a debate on whether to do this video or not, because my goal is and always has been to try and get people to garden. This was my summer of redemption. I did not have a good year last year, and this year was to make up for that, and it still is. But it's been hot. It's been in the 90s almost every day. And the reason why I debated on making this video is because I don't want to scare people off. The governor, 3 days ago, declared a drought state of emergency. Imagine that. In all 55 counties, a drought state of emergency, and it's moderate to severe across the whole state. And the reason is obvious. There's little to no rain. And this garden, just like everybody else's and the farmers, are all struggling. But that's the way it is. I don't want to just sugarcoat this. There's a lot of people probably don't want to watch this video. Probably they'll go to videos where everything is nice and plump and juicy and bright, but that's not the way it always is. So it's not like things are all bad. It's just that you have to work harder. It's just that you have to try over again. It's just that you have to adjust. And that's what I'm doing here. Um, like I said, it wasn't all bad. I mean, since I've been here a little under a year. And this is my Jamaican sorrel plant right here. This is one of the three that I have. Um, I have managed to grow dinosaur kale, lettuce, spinach, red Russian kale, squash, and carrots. So what's the problem? The problem, besides the drought itself, is a lack of bees. I these are my uh, bell peppers, and I transplanted this and almost died, and now it's bouncing back, so that's good news. This is somewhat of a tour to show you what is working for the most part. These are purple radishes, also starting to come up. At any rate, um, keeping with my theme, July the 21st and 22nd have gone down in history as the two hottest days on the entire planet. Yeah, that record was set not too long ago, and now we're breaking it again. So you kind of have to adjust. I've been gardening for most of my life, and the heat's not going to stop me. Although I do have another problem, and that is I didn't realize it, but there's a lack of bees. I don't have a lot of neighbors. In fact, I have a neighbor, one, and they don't grow things. They don't have things planted. These are other two of my Jamaican sorrel plants are in here. But I don't have anybody around me, so I guess that's probably the reason why I don't have any bees. One of my neighbors has 101 acres of land. He always has to tell me that extra one. And one has 400, so this is what I have. This is my closest neighbor's yard, I guess you can call it. And there's nothing there. So outside of what's in the trees, there's really no wildlife, and that's why there's no bees. But I'm going to fix that. Just stick with me, and you'll see what's going on. This is my mound. As you can see, this needs to be watered. The good news is that we're going to get rain over the next 2 days, starting tomorrow morning. I did not have this covered, and you can see here where I have it covered now, because I didn't have deer at first, but the deer showed up, and you can see they've been eating my beans. Those are black-eyed peas, or people call them cow peas, and these are white potatoes, And you can see where they just ripped a couple of them right out. So those are covered now. Should have been covered before. I guess better late than never. Better late than never, because I still have something left in there. This was a replant. This is going a little bit better than expected. These are all bush beans on the left, and in the center, not going as well as expected. These are carrots, but because of the hot weather, I have to try and keep these moist, and it's been kind of a so-so proposition. And over here, this is the squash. Now there's a story about the squash. These are new squash plants. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 or 5 in here. And the problem with the squash is not the heat. Like I said, it's the bees. Next week we're going into August. And I have seen a total of 3 bees. Yeah, 3 bees. The entire spring and summer. So this area here is covered. I gotta move this over because this is where the bit where I grew the dinosaur kale, but not dinosaur kale, red Russian kale was in here last fall and winter, and it did well. But it was in the fall and winter where it wasn't hot, and it doesn't need the bees to pollinate it. So that's my other issue. The fact that I'm growing squash, this I deliberately let go. I got a lot of squash out of here last year, and this year I got 1. And again, it's because of the bees. So I said earlier I was going to talk about a solution. And here it is. Solution number 1, I have wildflowers growing in here. I have them coming up in here. And I have them coming up down here. Now you might say, okay, you're going into August, why are you growing wildflowers now? 2 reasons. One is this is experimental because I was not successful in growing these over here. You'll see a couple of them in here, but for the most part, it was too hard to keep up with the watering. So I decided to put them someplace where I can control them. You'll see a couple in here and a few over there, a couple over here, but in here, I can control these and I can move these to where I want them to be. So next summer, if I don't have bees, that would be my solution. However, solution number 2, I expect to have bees. This is eucalyptus, by the way. I expect to have bees because the frugal nephew hooked me up with a friend of his who's going to bring me beehives next spring. So the bee problem will be resolved. You are going to have to garden at some point. I tell people all the time, I have children. I have a granddaughter that's going to be 3 in November. And at some point in time, over the next 100 years, everybody freaked out when the pandemic hit. But guess what? There's going to be hard times again. And you may have to be able to grow your own food. So you just can't say, oh, it's too hot or there's no bees or whatever it is. Find a solution. That's my answer. Find a solution. I'm by no means done because I do have things growing. The things that I planned over again. These are the wildflowers that I'm growing. So between the wildflowers and the bees, we'll be okay. So like I said, this is eucalyptus. These are wildflowers. This is one of my Jamaican sorrel plants. Moving down the line here. This is more eucalyptus, but it looks like I planted wildflowers in here too. So we'll see how that goes. Moving down the line, These are watermelons. You can see these are doing good, but this one isn't. So go figure. This I replanted over again. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because I had green beans in here, and I'm about to take these starters, watermelon, honeydew melon, cantaloupe, and put these over here. So you see, the garden goes on, things continue. These are cherry radishes coming up in here. These you have seen over and over and over, and I keep promising to put these in bigger containers, and I still haven't done it yet. Why? Time, money, effort. Uh, these are dwarf bananas. These are dwarf oranges, and these are, this is an olive tree. So that's going well. This is a pepper plant, which I had to move from way down the other end because you can't believe everything you see or hear on the internet. I was told that the deer would not bother these. Well, I was wrong, or whoever listened to was wrong, because they ate about 3 or 4 of these. But I still have a few, and they're going to be okay. Dinosaur kale coming up here, and this was my last buyer to build it. These are carrots. I like growing carrots in containers. I've been doing this off and on for a couple of years. And you can see the carrots are starting to come up in here. And these are tomatoes. But you see, here's part of the problem. Tomatoes need the bees. So the bees are just starting to show up. And I started my garden early. Um, this is red Malabar spinach. Here, I have it in a couple of places. But the thing is, you can plant all you want. But if you're growing squash, tomatoes, cucumbers, watermelon, you're going to need the bees. You're going to need something to pollinate this stuff with. This was another successful use of this pan. And these are more carrots. This is not so successful. These are onions because you normally plant those in the wintertime. But things are not as bad as people might think. There's my little chickens over here waiting to be fed. They're excited. So let's move over this way to what might be my crown jewel. If you are familiar with my channel, you've seen this. We built this raised bed last year. It's 6x8. There's 4 or 5 different types of potatoes in here, and this has done surprisingly well. Say a prayer, fingers crossed. I hope I get a good harvest from here, but I will not know for at least another month. Let's see. When this was planted, these are Yukon Golds, 519. So 519, and we're going into August, so we will see. This is the Frugal Nephew's, one of his areas, and he planted peanuts. They did not grow. So a few days ago, he planted pumpkins. They should grow. Again, you know, if at first you don't succeed, try again. So here we are at my little these guys go off when we have high winds. All right, coming towards the end of our little tour here. This came down during the storm, and there's a couple of trees we planted back up in here when we first moved here. This is a chestnut tree. I'm pretty sure it's chestnut. Either walnut or chestnut. I think it's chestnut. And again, I need to get over here and cover this because you see what happened here. Deer came along, and these are, I'm pretty sure these are squash. I can't see the label. And you're probably asking, why wasn't this covered to begin with? Well, in the spring, we didn't have deer. Wasn't a problem. So I had other things to do, and I didn't want to be out here in the heat too long. I'm not a spring chicken anymore. And now, today, they will be covered. Um, this isn't looking so hot. Well, this one is. The other ones aren't. So I may do something with this. And same thing here. I'm not exactly sure what this is. I've gotten a lot better with labeling things, but then I think I got a little bit laxed. So that is pretty much it. I have another video I'm working on. So I hope you guys subscribe and hit the notification bell because I am expecting rain, believe it or not. So things are going to cool off a bit. And when they do, I'll be able to get out here more often, stay out here longer, and make more videos. I am stalling a bit because I had one more thing that I wanted to show you guys, and I can't seem to, here it is. I gotta clean this area up, but this is a fig tree, to be exact, be precise. These are Black Mission figs, and this was one of the older holes I dug when my son and I first started preparing this area, and you can see it's overgrown now, but this was not doing well. This came out of here. It wasn't doing well, so I cleared this out, got some fresh soil, amended the soil, put this in, and now it's seeming to do better. I have to clean away this grass and these weeds, and hopefully this will thrive for years to come. So that's it for today, gang. This is it's been a challenge that I have accepted and will overcome. Like I said, we're going into August, so things are going to start getting cooler, more manageable, and I expect that we're going to have quite a few nice harvests this fall. So I'm the Frugal Gardener. I hope that you enjoyed, well, enjoyed most of the tour. Anyway, like I said, we are not throwing in the towel, and there are certain areas that are doing well. There's certain areas that are picking up, and certain areas need some work. At any rate, I'll catch you guys in a few days with the next video. Please share this, please like, and please comment. Any questions or comments, place them below. I'll see you guys in a few days. I'm the Frugal Gardener, and remember, when you grow your own food, you'll always know where it comes from. Have a great day.